So let's find our seat and let's just take a moment here, plant your feet, and you can start already playing a bit with that balance and that contact with the ground or surface. So your feet on the ground, notice if there's one more weight on one foot than the other, and see if you can even out that weight. And then the same with your sit bones, the sit bones on your chair. Maybe there's a bit more of a lean onto one side. See if you can press evenly through both sides of the body. And then bring those shoulders over your hips, rest your hands on your thighs. And take a deep breath in, see if you can lengthen up just a bit more. And then a breath out, maybe out of the mouth, letting go of whatever you don't need at this point. And then coming back to those inhales, taking in. And then releasing. And then begin to transition to breathing more through the nose with your inhales and with your exhales. And if you can, begin to lengthen and deepen your inhale. And then lengthen also your exhale. And bringing all that focus to your breath, hearing the sound of your breath. And as we enter practice, keeping some softness and ease in the face. And if you haven't already, begin to use your exhales to engage a bit more through deeper abdominal muscles, supporting your spine here. And notice that by finding that engagement, your inhale will happen mostly rib cage, chest, more of the upper torso. And let's take one more inhale. And then on your exhale, lower the chin to your chest. Eyes could open or stay closed. Let's bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then let's move from shoulder to shoulder with the breath. So you could go at your own pace. Left ear to left shoulder. And then back through center. And a few more times. And you might find that as you go through these half circles, maybe every time you get to one side, you can go a little deeper or a bit more range or possibility becomes available. And feel to stay on one side for an extra breath. Maybe the same on the other side. And then when you find yourself even on both sides, bring the chin back to the chest. Pause there, lengthen the back of the neck, but keep your shoulder blades drawing towards one another and down towards the ribs. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Now as you inhale, lift your gaze, look forward, eyes open if they were still closed. Reach your arms overhead, breath in. And then reach your arms right out and down as you breathe out. And again, let's inhale, lift those arms. Exhale and lower. And inhale, lift. And exhale to lower. Now with your next inhale, let's reach those arms overhead, interlace those fingers, turn your palms and press the palms away. Push the floor and the seat away too. So this engagement through the whole body. Pressing down and reaching up. Another breath in. And then on your exhale, right arm lowers by your side and then reach up and over with your left. Come back through center, coming up, inhale. And take it to the other side, exhale. back through center. Inhale. Now find the other end, interlace of your fingers, the opposite one, and then push again towards the ceiling. Breath in. And now on your exhale, those arms are going to come forward and round your spine, chin towards your chest, and push that back body back. Let's do that again. Rise up, inhale, maybe even chest opens, broadens a bit. Exhale and round. Push that back body back. One more time like that. Inhale and lift. And exhale and round, pushing forward. Nice job. Now as you inhale, release those hands, neutral spine, and bring those arms behind you. Hold onto the chair or to the opposite hand, and then find some space in the front of the shoulders and your chest. So the knuckles are reaching back, maybe down some. The shoulder blades are squeezing. Crown of the head is reaching tall. Breath in, breath out. One more inhale and exhale. Now releasing those hands, reach them once again towards the ceiling. And now on your exhale, left elbow is going to bend. Drop the hand behind your head and use your right hand to draw that elbow in. So see if you can feel a stretch through your triceps, through your armpit. Maybe you feel it going down the side ribs. Breath in and breath out. Switching sides, reach your arms up, inhale, and then bend that right elbow, hand behind the head, and that left hand draws that elbow in. And again, that stretch through that right arm, armpit, rib cage. And then use your next inhale to reach your arms overhead. And as you exhale, lower those hands. Let's bring them behind the right thigh, and let's draw that right knee in. Find some movement through your right ankle. And then switch direction. And then let's just do some pointing and flexing. So when you're ready, inhale and point your toes. And then exhale, flex. And do that again, point and flex. And one more point and flex. Keep the flexion through that right ankle, and let's take it to that right hip. So we might use a bit of hip opening if we get to some of those balancing poses. So notice, the range here, and see if you can emphasize a bit that knee going out to the side. And also the flexion, so drawing the knee in towards your chest. And then switch direction. So one of the things that I was thinking, apart from the Warrior 3 balancing, we might explore figure 4, standing. So that's why the opening of the hip will come in handy. So now bring that knee back through center, and then from here, just extend and flex the knee. So push out through the heel, and then bend, draw the heel in. And again, push and bend, and see if you can do it controlled. So especially control the bringing the heel back in. So you're not just flopping that knee or that leg down. One more time, extend and flex, heel to glute, and then extend. And then from here, keep it extended and lower the heel all the way down. So getting a stretch through the back of the ankle and the calf, give a push through that right heel, and then with your next inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, you can bring hands to your hips and encourage that flexion through the hips as you send your torso forward and down. Once again, a push through that right heel. You'll notice it makes a difference to engage through that right leg just a bit more. So you can engage and stretch at the same time. And it's actually a bit more of a controlled stretch, and it protects a bit more the joints. Another breath in and another breath out. Then with your next inhale, let's rise that torso, reach your arms overhead, and let's find a twist towards the left side, left hand behind us, and right hand crossing over. 3 cycles of breath here. So with each inhale, lengthening up. With each exhale, maybe a slight rotation becomes available. And then use your next inhale to come back through center, reach your arms overhead, and then on your exhale, let's reach those arms wide and all the way down. Bend into that right knee and bring that foot in. Let's do all of that on the left side. So when you're ready, bring your left thigh in. And again, hands can go under the thigh. First, find those movements through that left ankle. Rotation. And switch direction. And then let's point and flex. So pointing, you can pair the pointing with the inhale, the flexion with the exhale. And point, and flex, and point, and flex. And now keep that flexion, and let's take it to the hips. So those hip rotations. And on this side also, see if you can emphasize that opening, explore a bit more the knee going out, and that flexion through the hip, so drawing the knee in maybe a little bit more if that's available. And then switch direction. And then with your next inhale, the knee comes back through center. Now we're just going to extend and flex through the knee. So again, pushing through the heel, extending. And don't worry about extending completely the knee. Okay, so I'd rather you kept a little micro bend in the knee so the thigh is still engaged rather than completely straightening it and losing that engagement. And then again, press forward, bend, draw that heel in. And press forward and draw that heel in. The next time that your leg is extended, keep it extended, and with control, lower that heel all the way down to the ground. Push through the heel, draw the toes towards your shin, reach your arms overhead, breath in. And then as you exhale, hands to your hips, and find again that hinge forward. Any amount of flexion through the hips that is available, okay, rather than rounding through spine. So make sure that your spine stays more or less neutral. Nice job. Yeah, very good. Breathe in and breathe out. And find that balance. Don't work too hard. So make sure that there is some ease somewhere in the body, and the usual one is the face, the jaw. Usually the jaw can relax and doesn't really affect your posture. It might make the posture more enjoyable. Another breath in and another breath out. And then coming back through center, reach your arms overhead, lengthen, and let's find that twist towards the right side. Right hand behind us and left hand crosses over. 3 cycles of breath once again, lengthening up, inhale, and finding that rotation on the exhale. Shoulders away from ears, chest is broad. Another inhale and another exhale. And then coming back through center, breath in. You can reach your arms overhead. And then as you exhale, let's lower those hands down. And let's bring that left heel in and plant your feet. Both feet under or aligned, parallel, those ankles under knees. And then bring your shoulders up by your ears, squeeze them in. And on your exhale, just drop your right shoulder. And then bring that right shoulder up, inhale, and drop your left shoulder. And then do that again. Bring it up, right shoulder down, and bring it up, and left shoulder down. Nice job. Bring both shoulders up, inhale, and then release them down as you exhale. Arms will lift, breath in, and then interlace those hands and bring the hands to the back of the head, to the base of the skull. Okay, so again, we're going to work again on that flexion through the hips. So first, open up the chest, inhale, and then on your exhale, as your left elbow goes towards the right knee lifts towards the elbow. So a twist, a fold, and a flexion through the hip. And then come back through center, inhale, and let's switch sides. Exhale, same thing. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, switch sides. And one more. Inhale, open. And exhale, other side. Now as you inhale, come back through center, open, release those hands, reach them tall. And now with your exhale, find some space between your feet and your knees and let's fold forward. Hands can stay by your ears or maybe they come to your thighs as you reach your chest forward and down. Hands come to your shins, halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale and fold. Now on your inhale, halfway lift and see if you can stay on your halfway lift. Don't rely too much on your hands. Rely on the strength in your spine and your core and the strength in your legs. And now with your next inhale, see if you can bring your right arm by your ear, reaching it forward. Okay, try not to change anything else. Gaze is down, strong through your legs. Notice that if you really press through your feet, it makes a difference. It makes your posture much easier and stable. And then lower your right hand and then do the same with your left. Left arm comes by your ear, reaching forward, palm is facing in. Those fingers are reaching away from your tailbone. Breath in. Breath out, lower that left hand. Let's do it one more time each side. Right arm by your ears. Keep that halfway lift position. Exhale, right hand lowers. Left arm comes up. Inhale. And exhale and lower. Find forward fold. So let yourself hang around, drop the head if it's comfortable. Hands can stay where they're at, or you could bring them to hang also. Hold on to opposite elbows. Maybe there's an open mouth exhale here. Another breath in. And another breath out. With your next inhale, slowly make your way up. One vertebra stacks over the other. Making your way into your seat. And then let's just heel to toe those feet out. And then let's bring them back in. And then let's bring them out. And then back in. And one more time, take them out. And bring them back in. All right, so with your next inhale, bring that right knee in. Just give it a squeeze in. So bring it as close to your chest as it's available, and then maybe bring the chest towards the thigh too. So some rounding. Just take a moment, breath in, and a breath out. If you had any amount of rounding, restore that spine. So bring it back to neutral, and then cross your right ankle over your left thigh and come into a figure four. Okay. So remember, with your figure four, your right ankle is just off your thigh and your toes are drawing towards your shin. So there's quite a bit of engagement through this right leg. Okay. And then with your strength in your leg, see if you can push your right knee down a bit more. So rather than loose leg and just gravity pulling it down, see if you can find some action through your hip. Keep that engagement through the whole leg. Reach your arms overhead on the inhale. And then as you exhale, bring hands to your hips. Don't change your legs, and then hinge forward and down any amount. Pause, breath in, and breath out. So also the right ankle is pushing into that left thigh. And then the left thigh pushes back into that ankle. So see if you can find that also, that work. One more inhale and exhale. With your next inhale, rise that torso, reach your arms overhead, keep your legs engaged, and left hand is coming behind us, right hand is going to cross over. Finding a twist. If your right hand is on your right foot, push the foot into the hand as you pull with your hand into the foot. So again, no change in the legs, but there's a lot of action in that, in both legs actually. Breathing in and breathing out. And then come back through center. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, release those arms down by your side and release that right leg, right foot to the ground. So notice there was quite a bit of work in those legs. Let them loosen up. You maybe even give your thighs a bit of a massage with your fingers for a moment. And then we'll do that on the other side and see if you can focus on that engagement and that resistance in the legs. So when you're ready, bring that left knee in and then just first give it a hug. So you encourage that flexion through the left hip. Bring it in and maybe even bring the chest towards that knee, towards that thigh. Take a moment, breath in, breath out. And then lengthen up that spine and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Okay, so again, we're working on strong legs as much as we work on that flexibility and that range of motion. You need the strength in order for those movements and these poses to be stable. And safe. So just with the strength of your leg, you're sending your left knee down and away from you. Okay, your toes are drawing towards your shin and then your ankle is pushing into that right thigh. See if that right thigh can push back into your ankle. And then reach your arms overhead, breath in. And as you exhale, don't change your legs, hands to your hips, and then find that hinge forward and down from those hips. Again, neutral spine as best you can. And keep that action through your legs. So you'll feel some engagement through the glute muscles too. Outer hip. Breathe in. And breathe out. Keep drawing those left toes towards the shin. One more inhale. And exhale. Now with your next inhale, we are rising back up. Reach your arms overhead. Try not to change your legs. It's very easy to lose that engagement. Right hand behind us, and then left hand comes across. So we're finding a twist towards the right side. And we're not focusing so much on, deepening the twist right now. We're trying to just keep that leg work. Okay, so don't worry about taking your twist really far, it doesn't need to. Press the foot, if it's against your hand, press it into the hand, and then the hand pulls on the foot, but you're not changing the position of your leg or your foot. Breathing in and breathing out. One more inhale and exhale. And then coming back through center, inhale, reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, release arms down and release that left foot back to the ground. So again, just give yourself a little wiggle here through your feet. Maybe lift and lower your heels, but kind of loosen. Maybe even just shake your legs a little bit. Okay, so if there was quite that engagement in figure 4, your legs are feeling a little tired from that. So just a little stretch here, loosening up a bit. All right. Okay, so we're going to take it up to stand and we'll do a little balance. But remember, I will use chair so you can play with it. And lifting, legs when it's not available, don't worry, we'll play with that. So plant both feet, we'll come up and down a couple times, so a bit more work for those legs, and then we'll stay standing. So reach your arms forward, or maybe by your ears, bring your weight into your feet, lift those sit bones, inhale, keep the knees bent, and then return to your chair, exhale. And let's do that again. Inhale, lift. Exhale and lower. Last one, breath in to lift. And breath out to lower. Now with your next inhale, we'll lift. And we're going to stay lifted, but keep that bend in your knees, wiggle your toes a little bit. Oh, don't let those shoulders move away from your ears. Take another breath. And then use your next inhale to push the floor away, straighten your legs, reach your arms tall. And as you exhale, lower those arms all the way down by your side. So we're going to use the seat of the chair for these balancing poses. And I said, we'd do Warrior 3, but it's kind of from a table pose. So we'll work from a table pose and you can choose where to take it. So Table pose at the seat of the chair. Your hands are going to be planted under your shoulders. Your ankles, knees, and hips are going to be in line. And like we've done other times, we're going to lift the legs and we're going to work on keeping the hips level. So the lifting of the leg is just about glute strength, hamstring strength, and some core. All right, so let's start with the left side. So when you're ready, left leg will rise. Keep that foot flexed, toes are drawing towards the shin. And then with the left leg lifted, see if you can find a bend in your right knee. And we're just going to bend and straighten that right knee. Okay? So as you bend and straighten, you're not really changing anything else. You might need to bend your elbows some because your torso will lower also, but you're keeping your left leg lifted. There you go, nice job. And again, bend and straighten. Let's do it one more time. Bend into that right knee. And then push to straighten. And then on your exhale, lower that left foot back down. Come back into your table pose. Right? So when we do this, try to focus on control, right? When you bend, you slow down. Okay, because you've got to control the weight and gravity. And then when you straighten, try to really push through that the grounded leg. Okay? So let's do it on the right side. As you're ready, lift that right leg. And then keep those hips level, both hip bones are pointing down. And then let's start bending and straightening through the left leg. So bend and straighten, pushing. And bend and push through that left leg. And bend. And again, straighten. 2 more times. Bend. Straighten. And last one. Bend. And straighten. Nice job. From here, lower that right foot down. Come back into your table pose. Take a cow and a cat. Drop the belly. Bring the chest forward. Lift your gaze. Exhale, round your spine, chin to the chest, and really push through your hands. So find some space between shoulder blades. And again, inhale into cow. Exhale, and cat. One more time. Inhale. And round. Exhale. And now find a neutral spine again. We're going to do the same thing that we did before, but I'm going to give you the option of floating one hand off the chair. So a little extra. And remember, with your lifted leg, if it's too much to have it lifted, you could also just rest your toes behind you and work here with your toes resting on the ground. You already have got more weight into the standing leg, into the right leg, and you've got less weight on that left leg, so that would be the first step, and that's perfectly good to do here. Okay, so don't worry if the leg doesn't lift completely. Okay, so we'll start left side. When you're ready, left leg will rise. Take it to the place that works for you. Keep your hips level. And then from here, maybe your right hand floats off the chair. So you could bring like your hand to your belly, or you could rest it at your chest, or you could just float it off your chair. Okay, so your palm just like a centimeter off your chair. And then let's do that again. The same thing we did before. Bend into that right knee. Straighten. And bend. And straighten. And again, bend. And straighten. One more time. Nice job. Bend. And straighten. If your hand was lifted, plant it back down and then bring that left foot back to the ground table pose. Okay, take a cow and a cat. Breath in. And round the spine. Breath out. And the neutral spine. We've got one more side to go. So your right leg now is the one that lifts behind you. And then your left hand might be the one that floats off the chair or comes to your chest. Okay? And then from here, bend into that left knee. And then straighten. Strong through those left glutes. Bend and straighten. Nice job. And bend and straighten. One more time, bend. Actually, two more. Straighten. Last one, bend into that left knee. And then push, straighten. Lower your left hand down. And lower your right foot down. Nice job. Now with your next inhale, bring your hands to your hips, chin to your chest. Find a nice bend in your knees and slowly lift your spine, coming all the way up to stand. Bring the hands behind you, interlace them at your lower back, and then send your knuckles down as you open up the chest, open up the fronts of the shoulders, breathing in and breathing out. One more inhale and exhale. With your next inhale, release your hands, reach them tall. And then on your exhale, let's find a standing side stretch. Right arm by your side and then reach up and over with your left. Get some space in the left side of your waist. And then come back through center, inhale, and do the same to the other side as you exhale. Bring yourself back through center, inhale, and then on your exhale, lower those arms all the way by your side. All right, so are you up for just a little exploration of a standing figure four? Okay, all right. So we'll use the back of the chair for balance. And it's a combination of all the poses we've done. You know, when we stand up, we do this one and we stay here. So that's the first place. And then we cross the ankle just like we do in the seated position. So we've got it all there and we're just putting it together. We're adding the balance component. So fingers can rest on the back of the chair. When you're ready, find that chair pose, the yoga chair pose, right? There's no chair behind you, but it's as if you were sitting in it. Make sure that you're sending weight into your heels. You're drawing the belly to your spine. And then when you're ready, the left knee is going to lift, and we're going to cross the left ankle over the right thigh. So if I face you, it's kind of this. And the more you bend into the standing leg, the more of a shelf you've got for that left foot. Okay? So play with this. And then if you want to have more flexion through your hip, it's the same thing that we do in the seated position. Send your chest forward and down. Okay, so you might come onto your forearms on the back of the chair. Only if it's available and, I was going to say comfortable. I don't know if comfortable is the word, but, there has to be some ease somewhere. Take a full breath in. Remember that action through your left leg especially. Full breath out. And then from here, come back up. If your torso was folded, lift it. And then straighten the standing leg and release that left foot down. Come back to stand. Nice job. Okay, take a moment, shoulder roll. Wiggle through your toes. Maybe you lift and lower on the balls of the feet. And then let's get ready for the other side. So find your chair position first. And then this time your standing leg is your left and your right knee is the one that's going to lift. And then the ankle is going to cross over that left thigh. So here's your figure four position, just like when we're seated, right? The more you bend into that standing leg, the more of a shelf. But of course, more flexion is needed in the hip. And then maybe your chest comes forward. Maybe your forearms on the back of the chair. Just make sure it's not too much. Make sure there's no pain in that right knee. Okay? Breathing in and breathing out. Lengthen, keep your spine long. So even if you fold it forward, just like when we're doing our chair in the chair, we're keeping that spine neutral as best we can. Nice job. From here, lift your torso, straighten the standing leg, and lower your right foot all the way down. Nice job. That was really good. Okay. So let's keep the hands on the back of the chair and let's just walk those feet back and give that whole spine a nice lengthening. Tailbone reaches away from your fingers. Maybe your head hangs between your arms. And here you could also find a little wiggle through your toes. Remember, a nice bend in the knees can be helpful. Another breath in. And another breath out. One more inhale. And exhale. Now with your next inhale, coming up, walk the feet back towards the chair. Come back up to stand, give your shoulders a bit of a roll. And since we were doing those warrior threes using the seat of the chair, we're just going to try it now using the back of the chair. Okay, so in this case, your arms are not straight under your shoulders, so it's a bit more challenging in that sense, because when your hands are straight under your shoulders, you've got your arms to support your chest. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use our forearms on the back of the chair, or if you feel adventurous, you're going to use like from the kind of down dog that we were doing, so hands on the chair and then your spine back. Okay, so let me just check. So this would be the first one. You could use forearms or arms extended out in front of you, but you resting on close to your elbows. Okay, or you could have your hands on the back of the chair and do it from here. Okay, so those two options. If you want, you could start with a shorter one, so on forearms, and then you could try the other one if you wish. Okay. So it's the same idea. We're going to lift one leg and extend it out behind us, keeping the torso just as it is. Okay. So when you're ready, plant through your right foot, make it stable, and then your left leg is going to lift straight out behind you. Okay. So it's a little less stable than when the hands are on the shoulders. So make sure that you're okay here. Okay. Breath in. Breath out. And then lower that left foot and then try the same thing now with the right foot. So plant your left, make sure you've got a good base through the left leg, and then right leg will rise. Remember, your hips stay square. Nice job. So you notice a bit more wobbly than when we have the hands on the shoulders. Breath in, breath out. Lowering that right foot, and then just make your way up for a moment to stand. Give your shoulders a roll. Any open mouth exhales to just reset. And then we'll do it one more time on each side. If you tried the forearm, you could try the hands, make it a bit longer. If you already did the hands, feel free to do that again, or to try forearms if you wish. Okay, so let's get into position once again. So first of all, you want that length from tailbone all the way to your fingers. And then left leg rises. Use that left glute. Remember, flex through that left foot as an active lifted leg. One more breath. And then on your exhale, lower that left foot down. Stay in the same place and we'll switch. Right leg now is lifting. Using that right glute. Keep reaching through your fingers. Flex through that right foot. Breath in. And exhale, right foot lowers. Nice job. From here, walk your feet back towards your chair. And make your way to stand. Bring your arms behind you, interlace them at your lower back. Send the knuckles down, open up the chest, full breath in. And full breath out. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, release those hands. Moving the chair out of the way, and a well-deserved rest down onto the mat, I think. Those balancing poses are quite something, so if you're feeling it, you're not alone. So we'll make our way first into a seated position. Legs are out in front of us. And lengthen your legs out. And we're just going to bring the hands to outer hips or a little behind us. You could do fists too. We're just using here the arms to keep the spine lifted. And then just let your feet kind of go from side to side with your knees here extended. So a little rotation going through those hips. A bit loose, not anything too strenuous right now. And then bring those feet back through center, and then now just let your feet go in opposite directions. So left foot towards the left and right foot towards the right. And then bring them all the way through center, and then point your toes towards one another. And again, not too much stress here as you do this. Take them out, and then bring them in, and out, and bring them back in. And then bring them back through center, bend into those knees, and we're coming all the way onto our backs. Okay, so you could do this slowly, engaging through core, or you could always come onto your side. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, slowly. Control that descent as you lower the whole spine and head to the mat. And once you've arrived there, bring your heels a bit closer to your sit bones. Bring your arms by your side. We're going into a few bridge poses. When you're ready, inhale and lift the hips. And as you exhale, lower hips. Let's do two more. Inhale and lift. You might find that every time you lift, you can go just a little higher if it's available. Exhale, lower. And inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Now let's do it one more time, but we're going to hold it. So we're going to keep those hips lifted. And you choose here. You might stay more with a neutral position, so kind of neutral spine. Or if it's available, you might tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, or your shoulders underneath you. So your shoulder blades come a bit closer. Okay? Keep lifting your hips, and you'll notice that your chest lifts a bit more towards your chin. You're pushing through your arms, through your upper back. Breath in, breath out. And one more inhale. And then on your exhale, slowly lowering from upper spine all the way to that lower spine and sacrum. And once that sacrum reaches the mat, bring your feet a bit wider. Let your knees rest against one another and bring your hands to your belly. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. One more inhale and exhale. And now just checking in and see if there's any other movement that comes up in your body. So you might be perfectly content and balanced right now, just here in stillness, just breathing, feeling the belly rise and fall. Or there might be some area in the body that needs some attention. So maybe the lower back needs a little bit more stretching, so you can feel a bit of compression there. If that's the case, right in this posture, you could try and lengthen that lower back. So slightly tilting your pelvis so your lower back stretches out and gets closer to the ground. Maybe that's just a little tweak and enough. Maybe you need a bit more. Those knees come into your chest. Maybe there's a rocking from side to side or even front to back. And this is just an example, lower back, but there might be other areas of the body that could do with some tweaks, some gentle movement. So if that's the case, again, explore it. No rights or wrongs. You don't have to have a specific plan or even a reason. You could just move and see what happens. So let's give ourselves about 10, 15 breaths like that. The neck is usually one that always benefits from a little attention. So moving the neck could be also a nice idea. And then whenever you feel ready, make your way into stillness, finding the most comfortable position for your body at this point. Taking your time, but then as you arrive, maybe take a full breath in and an audible open mouth exhale. And letting that physical body soften, settle in. And then maybe that exhale is also a sign to the mind to settle, to let go. And make that transition from doing to just a few minutes of not doing. Of pause or rest. Reset. Nothing to do at this point. And then, as always, feel free to stay for a bit longer if you can, if you want to. If you're ready to move, let's engage the breath. Find that deeper, longer breath, and then begin to move the body in any way that feels good to you. And taking your time, slowing things down, no rush. And if you're on your back, you might choose to roll onto one side. Those knees come towards your chest. And before you rise up, give yourself a breath in and a breath out. And then you can use your hands to gently push yourself up. Find a comfortable seat and let's end practice together. You can bring hands to your lap, to your heart. Find that lifted spine. Maybe close eyes. And let's take a moment and acknowledge the practice. Let's acknowledge ourselves for practicing today. We'll acknowledge those who practice with us and all those who make it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.